What if you could close your entire month's salary in just one 20-minute meeting? Let's go times 12 that. What if you could close a sale that is worth an entire year's salary and you can earn that in commission or with your own product or service? Hey, what's up guys? This is Pete Scott here. I am super excited to share today's topic with you, how to close high ticket sales. Because when it comes to high ticket, I don't really go with labels, but it is one topic that is taking the internet by storm. So many people I meet in the kind of work that I'm doing, sales training, say to me, Pete, how do I become a high ticket closer? Or how do I get my product or service out there? And in essence, how do I serve more people? And in return, how do I make more money? So sit tight, comment below if you hear something that resonates with you. And today's video, don't just take the theory, implement into your business. So without any further delay, I've got loads to go through with you. So I'm gonna go at rapid pace, stick with me. And then from there, by the end of this video, guess what? You will have some skills. You'll have some strategies in how you can confidently sell at a much higher price. The first bit of advice I want to share with you in how you can do this is to check in with your financial thermostat. We all have a financial thermostat, and basically what that is that it's the amount of money that you are comfortable earning in your life. Yet believe it or not, we all have an upper limit, and it's a glass ceiling, by the way. It's an invisible ceiling. It doesn't exist, but we create it in our mind. I remember my glass ceiling was around about £30,000 for so many years, and I guess what? I could never earn in an entire year more than about £30,000. So I had to do a lot of inner work on myself, my own money beliefs, what was going on in my own head, decode that and get to a point where my thermostat became much greater. So what is your financial thermostat right now? Is it helping you or is it hindering you? Because here's the situation. Let's say you offer a service or product and you want to sell at a high price because wow, it means you're adding more value, you're creating a bigger impact in the world, you're getting better clients. But if your financial thermostat is limiting you, then you're already creating a conflict in your mind. You want to sell here, you want to help your clients, but you're stuck down here. And this is why it's so important, because in sales, you always get a perfect reflection of you. If you have price objections in your own mind, if you see it as expensive, then guess what? You will come across price objections with the clients that you see. If you don't believe in your product or you're not sold on the fact that your product can really help your clients or your customers, then you will have commitment issues. You will have people not really believing in the product or service. So it's really important that you first of all understand how you are sold on you first. Being sold on you is key, because if you can't sell to yourself that A, that you're going to kick ass in this life, B, that you are valuable, C, that you have a high financial thermostat, then you are always going to reach these objections. Objections are not created by our customers. At least I don't believe that. They're created within our own mind. So tap into your financial thermostat, because you will only ever be able to sell at the limit of your financial thermostat. If your limit is limited, then you will be limited in the amount of sales that you make. In order to break through and start selling at a high price, here's my next piece of advice for you. It is to know that it's actually easier to sell at a high price than it is a low price. And the reason for it is simple. When you sell at a high price, then that person knows that, wow, I need to be committed in order to do this. Therefore, because it's a higher price, they will invest more of their emotion into it. And because people buy emotionally and they justify what they bought logically, you're more likely to make the sale. If only life was as linear as we all believed. If life was very much, okay, well, it's cheap, so therefore it's going to sell more. That isn't the case. What happens is that when you sell at a high price, you will get that commitment from your client. But number two is that you are selling then the full solution. It happened to me in a really profound way. I was selling at a lower price, and then I started getting frustrated that I knew that I wasn't truly helping my clients, because at the time I was selling personal training and I was selling around $500-600, and I was thinking, for $500-600 I can't give the value that I really want to give to this individual. They are not going to completely transform their life. And for me, I sell results. I don't sell a product or service at all. And in order to get the best result in my client's life, they would have to invest substantially more, because if they invested more, I could commit more as a personal trainer. If they invested more, it meant that I could put together an entire program for them. You see where this is going? You don't walk into a car garage and say, hey, listen, I want a part car. The Mercedes garage or BMW garage will say, what are you talking about? You go in and you buy the whole car. If you are selling at a low price, what you're selling is a part solution. You're selling a part of what you can do for that person. You're selling the 20%. You're not selling the 100%. Your clients will understand more clearly when you say, look, let's get you to your result. Let's be honest. How much would it truthfully cost? I want you to write this down. Write it in the comments. How much would it truthfully cost with the product or service that you sell, or the product or service you want to sell? How much would it cost your customer in order to get the ultimate result from you? There you go. You're going to need to sell at that higher price. So you've got to tap into your financial thermostat, because remember, you only get a reflection of what your financial thermostat is. So if it's limited, your sales will be limited. So let's move on from this. Next up is knowing the exact moment to close. People ask me all the time, Pete, how do I close? And I say, you simply ask for the business. The problem is not how do you close, although I can share 100 different ways in how you close a sale. More important is when you close, because if you use the right closing technique, but you do it at the wrong time, you still won't get a yes from your client. However, if you choose the right time to close, it doesn't really matter, unless you really mess it up, which close you use. It's about knowing when is the exact moment. If you close too late, then you've already missed it. That person has had that excitement, they've reached that peak, and then you've lost them. If you try and close too early, then maybe they're not qualified, maybe they don't understand the value of what you can bring, and on top of that, they're just not there with the commitment. Identifying the exact moment to close is everything. You need to pick up on the micro facial expressions, the buying signals, the fact that they're saying, okay, I'm ready to move forward, and then you need to have that confidence, that 2 seconds of courage to say, Mr. or Mrs. Smith, so would you like to go ahead with the first option that we looked at, or is the second option the better one for you today? And then let them say yes. Now, with closing, when people say to me, okay, Pete, that sounds good, so when do I close? I always answer with as early as humanly possible. And then the response usually from the people that I train is, okay, well, when is that? And I say, when you've earned the right to close. You need to know that you've qualified, you need to know that you're in great rapport with that individual and that they are ready to buy, and then you simply ask for the sale. More the psychology of closing at a high ticket is making the high price the only option in your own mind. I reached a point in my own life where I just couldn't sell at a low price anymore, and the reason for it was because I knew by selling a low price I was not helping somebody as much as I could, and because it's easier to sell at a high price and people get it when you sell at a high price, that became the only option in my mind for you as the seller. And I don't care if you think you're not a salesperson. Guess what? The very fact that you're watching this video right now, the very fact that you probably have some kind of product or service that you offer, you are a salesperson. You have to make the high price option the only option in your own mind. Sure, you can offer maybe 2 options or 3 options to your client. That's for another video, but you must move past selling at a low price. If something is selling at less than a certain amount in my business, I don't even get involved on a human level. We have online processes and systems that take care of all of that. When the human to human H2H selling comes into play is when it is at a high price. On a corporate level, that's substantially higher, but my cost of delivery is higher. However, on an individual level, it's still the same psychology. You must make selling at a high price your only option in your mind. When it comes to your customer psychology, the transaction or the sale or the agreement to buy only happens when your client's need and desire for their goal far outweighs your need and desire to be paid. I want you to remember this one statement in every single sales meeting you have over the next few weeks, because at the end of the day, what most people do when they're selling their product or service, even though they might be confident in life, when it comes to selling either face-to-face or online, they turn into this needy, weird kind of person. People buy when they're around authority. If you have that confidence, if you're calm, if you keep your cool, even if you're closing a deal at say 50 grand, now that individual gets that space in their mind, that psychological space to make the decision. And remember this, your client wants to buy. They would not be having a conversation with you in the first place if they didn't want to buy. It is never about you. It is always about your client and their ultimate goal. So it only makes sense to sell at a high price. In fact, I want you to reflect upon this video today and realize something. All that matters is that you get your clients, your customers to the ultimate place that you can take them. And the chances are it is more than likely times 10, even times 100 what you are giving yourself credit for right now. So to sell a high price, you must lock in and totally become that mentality. The moment you sound needy, you lose. The moment even the slightest bit of desperation comes across in your tone of voice or even how you breathe, you will lose the sale. The most certain person in sales always influences the other. Unlike what we are trained by most sales trainers, you do not need to be enthusiastic and more excited than the buyer. What you need is certainty and conviction, and a lot of the time calm is the best way to sell. Next up, to ensure you close time and time again at a high price, is to eliminate all objections as early as humanly possible. This whole thing on objection handling is BS. We should not be handling objections at all, because it is our job to be 5, even 10 steps ahead of our client. The reason why they came to you, the reason why they're trusting you, and the reason why they're going to invest a lot of money with you is because they trust that in return you will have the right service or the relevant product to help them to their goals. So it's up to you to know the objections before your client even comes up with them. So that means you're sitting down with your client, and even in the first few minutes you're saying, okay, I appreciate that you came to me, and you'll know already that I'm not the cheapest solution. But at the same time, the chances are you tried cheaper solutions before and you didn't get the results that you want. So I want to make sure before we move forward, and I'm not asking you to commit right now, are you okay that there could be a financial investment today, and then get that yes from that person? I'm not going to say all the steps in this video, but bear in mind you must eliminate all objections as early as possible. What 95, even 98% of people do when trying to sell their product is they hope and pray, oh my goodness, please this objection don't come up. But whatever you fear in life always raises its ugly head. You cannot avoid it. Embrace the objections for what they are, but instead of your customer bringing it up and then they have all the power and now you're trying to fight back and you're trying to justify everything, you'll be far better off if you bring up the objections first of all. In a way, selling is not selling to your customer. To sell high ticket is about your customer selling to you, because nobody wants a bad client. Qualify your clients through eliminating all objections early on. Finally, you must lock all of your sales conversation into a watertight process. I mentioned already in this video that I was a personal trainer throughout my 20s, and I still have that exact process of how I had a sales meeting. And not that I'm a personal trainer now, but if I really wanted to switch careers, I could step straight back into PT tomorrow and I could close high ticket sales. Selling and the ability to sell is a high income skill. For me, it's one of the most exciting skills available today. Why? Because you can step into any industry, it can be lucrative, you can make an impact, you can work the hours that you want, build a business, and you can pretty much sell your way out of a lot of problems in life. It is crucial that you lock your sales conversation into a proven process. Too many people, and I've trained thousands over the years, they're running their business, they might be even earning 6, even 7 figures. And when I sit down with them and go, okay, let's go through your process, they look at me with a blank stare. You are leaving money on the table. You must get frustrated every time somebody walks away. And I don't mean at them, I mean that there was an opportunity for you to help that individual and that person walked away. Believe it or not, I couldn't sleep at night, and I reached that point of frustration where I wasn't skilled enough and I hadn't got my sales conversation into a process that worked for me, into a formula that was the exact science for me. And that meant that I was losing sales day in and day out. Number one, it meant that I wasn't helping people. But number two, it also meant, and I did the maths, I lost over £30,000 in just 4 weeks, because I tracked all the conversations that I had, and then from there I added up and took all the no's, which there were many at that time, and I'm like, oh my goodness, that's £30,000 that I've just lost. Because remember this key point. There is always a sale made in every single sales meeting. Your client either buys your product or solution and they buy the goal. That's really what they're buying, the result. Or you buy your client's excuse or reason why they don't want to buy. If you're selling a product at £20,000 and your client turns around and says to you no, and you know that you could have helped them if you just had your sales conversation locked into a formula that works for you, you just, my friend, lost £20,000. Start adding up what you lose, and then from there there you will start to see, if you don't already, the importance of locking your sales conversation into a proven formula. So that is my video for today on how to close high ticket sales. So once again, thank you for joining me. Comment below, let me know which tips were the most useful today, and then from there I'm going to see you in the next video.